Welcome to The Global Girlfriend.
Shall we book a trip to Manila, the Philippines?
Yep.
All right, hey everyone, my name's Morgan,
And my name's Brianna.
and we're the Global Girlfriend. We're a podcast all about travel, living abroad, and all the things that come into that via storytelling and just connecting. And today we're excited if you're new or if you're rejoining us, happy to have you here. And today's podcast is about confidence lessons from a life abroad. So just to give a little bit of summary of what this podcast will look like today is we're going to just be, talking all about confidence and how it is something that you grow through time, through experience, through observation, and how it looks different around the world. Okay, so I would say confidence definitely looks different around the world, wouldn't you say?
I completely agree that it looks different around the world. I think it also looks different from person to person, but I think throughout my travels, and I'm sure you've experienced it the same way, women hold themselves differently in different cultures, and it's just been a really beautiful sort of thing to see. So, like some things that I've noticed is in some cultures, confidence looks like it's a loud woman, it's an assertive woman. In other cultures, I've seen it's more quiet and more graceful. But I just think that it's really beautiful when I'm traveling to observe the local women around me and just see what confidence looks like in different cultures. I think it's really beautiful.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I feel like the things that where I learn the most in my life is where I'm just kind of sitting there observing, and I get to really absorb the life and what I'm watching. So I feel that specifically about when you get to see women live fully in their context. Whether it's someone in their culture, living in their culture, living their lives. Or I feel like I've also been inspired a lot by seeing, travelers and tourists really, shining and embracing life in various cultures. Um, okay, so do you have a moment abroad where you were feeling super confident or where you felt like you had to pretend to be confident, but you were actually not feeling great?
Oh my gosh, both. And
All of
I,
the above.
I think that yes, definitely. So, I mean, a moment where I have felt very confident abroad, I would say that I only ever start to feel confident abroad after I've had time to sort of sit back and observe and see how things go, and then I'm able to dive in with a little bit more confidence. So, if you are feeling uncomfortable abroad, that would be my tip is to, actually go to a cafe, people watch, like observe at your international job, see how things go, and then dive in when you're feeling a little bit more brave. And then times when I have felt unconfident, so many, when you're immersed in a when you're immersed in a new
Yeah.
situation, I think it's really it can be a very overwhelming experience, and it's normal to maybe not feel your most confident self. For me, something that I'm actually super unconfident in is starting new jobs abroad. I've had the opportunity to start a few different jobs since I've been abroad, and that first day of work or those first weeks of work are actually super hard for me because I feel like you have to walk into a new job, you have to walk into new colleagues who are from a whole different culture. It's all new systems and ways of doing things, and you have to sort of walk in and be like, "You've hired me. I need to prove myself that I'm good at this job that you hired me for." But everything is new. Even the lunches that they serve are like I'm thinking
Oh
about
yeah.
my first sort of like my first week in Bali. At my school, they served us Indonesian food for the first week that we were here at lunch, which is amazing, but it's also really spicy. And I didn't realize that when I had first moved here.
Oh,
I'd
I
never
didn't
had
know that either.
Indonesian food. And so I'm like with my new colleagues, most of whom are Indonesian, and I'm like, I don't know what to choose from the lunch because I don't know what anything is. Some things are so spicy. And so I'm sitting there like trying to have conversations with my new colleagues, and my mouth is literally on fire. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, this could be going better. So I
Oh
would
my
definitely
goodness.
say, yeah, a time when I felt unconfident and had to fake it is starting a new job abroad. Definitely. What about you?
Yeah. Well, first off to that, like that's amazing because I feel like with your job now as an international teacher, like you're having a new job every 2, 3, 4 years. And I feel like a lot of people go into their job situation. I mean, a lot of people change their jobs anyways, but like they kind of go on it thinking like, oh, I'm going to stay put here. But like being an international teacher all over the world, like you are engaging with that, like every few years, really. So that's amazing that you get to grow in that and face
Thank you.
that.
Thank you. It hasn't gotten easier yet, but I don't know, maybe someday it will.
Who knows? Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, so let's see. Um, I guess I'll start with the moment of feeling confident for sure. I feel like when I'm picturing moments of confidence is I'm picturing myself in Madrid. Madrid is super fashionable, and I've always been just like super inspired by the women in their fashion and just like chit chatting with their friends and living their lives. And I feel like times where I've felt very like confident and inspired have been me walking around in like a super cute outfit, like maybe some pantyhose, a skirt, maybe like a little fur jacket, and just like with some like platform boots, and I'm just feeling like confident as ever and inspired by all the fashionable people around me. And I'm just thinking, wow, I just like love this place. I feel so confident. Um, so that's just a random little moments I felt like that in Madrid. And then I'm trying to think of moments where I didn't feel confident, but I was pretending to be. It also involves me in a city.
Yep.
I if one of my college best friends is listening to this, she'll laugh because she always like laughs at this. But I went through a phase when I was in London where like I would wear my headphones and I was either listening to nothing, or I was listening to the Taylor Swift song "Vigilante Shit." I don't know. Do you know that song?
Amazing. That's so good.
It's
Yeah.
just it's so
It's
fierce. So it's
yeah.
like so fierce. And like there would be days where I was like feeling down or like I don't know, having guy issues and just feeling sad or whatever. And I like that is the song that I wanted to listen to kind of feel like I am fierce, I am capable. And so like even though I was feeling like down in the dumps, I was just walking through London, headphones on repeat, playing vigilante shit and, and really convincing myself, all right, it's time to be fierce. So anytime y'all listen to that song, channel the confidence and the fierceness.
Oh my god, I love that so much, and what I love about both of the things that you shared, and I think this sort of, like, segues nicely into, like, how to build confidence. If you are feeling confident or unconfident, honestly, the outfit that you put on, the way you do your hair, your makeup, like, if you make yourself look fierce, you will start to feel fierce. And yeah, that
Yeah.
incredible, like, walking playlist, walking soundtrack, put on, like, some music that gives you, like, that main character energy and just, like, walk down this, like, new beautiful street that
Boom.
you're on, like, instant mood changer. So
Yes.
I love that you gave those two examples. Other things I think that you can do if you're not feeling super confident, um, living abroad, there's like a couple of small and big things that you can do to start to build your confidence, because I I think some people come into the world born with a lot of confidence and they never lose it, but I feel like the more common experience, especially for women, is we lose our confidence a lot. It's very easy to lose your confidence. It's very easy, especially in an international context, to feel like
Mm-hmm.
a fish out of water. So I think some things that you can do to build confidence would be like, attend an event solo. Just, go to something by yourself, like go, and it doesn't have to be a big thing like, a bar or a meal alone at dinner time or something like that. Go to like the symphony or something,
Oh yeah.
where you're watching something where you're focused on something. Go to a movie, like just do something by yourself, because I feel like the more you do that, the more your confidence grows.
Absolutely. And I think that like independence definitely brings you to the road of confidence. And I feel like when you go out and do those things, like go to events or even just like go out and have a coffee and with yourself and journal, or we bring up journaling a lot, or reading. I think that when you go out and actually do something, it's always helped me feel like more inspired and more confident and just feeling more, because I can sometimes get in my head like about different, I don't know, about different things. And so I think when you actually go and do things, you remind yourself that you're capable.
You're capable, and then I think you're way more set up for when harder things hit. You can handle the harder things with more confidence if you've practiced your confidence skills. So, it is actually really hard to move, and you can feel like the wind gets knocked out of your sails almost every day in the first, weeks or months of living in a new place. So, if you have practiced being confident, I think that's when you can sort of like reach into your confidence bank for, okay, I can get through this. Same thing for if you're not
Hmm.
feeling healthy abroad, or if you have to get a new job, or if you lose your job, or if you go through a breakup abroad. Like all of these things are really difficult. So if you've practiced your confidence in advance, that's when you can sort of like reach into those reserves and be like, no, I've got this. I can do it.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you have any like moments where you've been abroad and you've been like, all right, if we can do this, we can do anything?
Oh, okay. Oh, so I feel like love it. I have a couple things that come to mind. I remember. Well, I remember when I was in Cape Town, and I wasn't feeling like super confident, and I also didn't feel like I had a whole lot of things that were like my own, you know. And so then I was like, you know what? I am going to. I found a hot yoga place nearby, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. And one, it was something that like I love, and it's very peaceful, and it's hard. You know, you
Hmm.
work hard, so you feel good. Um, but there was a lot of days, like within the couple months that I did that, where I was like, I do not want to go. I'm like,
Yep.
I do not. But then I was like, you know what? No, I'm going. And it was kind of like those, I don't know, just the act of going. And I know it's not a huge thing, but it was something that really made me, it really made me feel confident. And then for whatever reason, this sounds like super simple, but for whatever reason, the thing that kept popping in my head during that period at yoga in Cape Town was, I kept, for whatever, I don't even know where this came from, but I kept just saying like, I am me. I don't know if that even
You
makes sense.
are.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I am me. And it just helped me, it helped remind myself, like, I am me. Like, I am Morgan Jenkins and I'm myself. And it just helped me just kind of center with that and remember who I am. Um, so yeah, I'll just stick with that story. That's the one that comes to mind.
I love that. That is so beautiful, and that is the thing, like, we are all dynamic women, we have all been through things, we all have skills and things that make us unique, and it is really easy to forget that when you're going through the hard times, even more difficult when you're
Hmm.
not in a familiar situation, but, like, no, you are Morgan, I am Brianna, if you're listening, you are you, and, like, you got this.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, what about you? Does a story come to mind? If
Um
I could do this, I could do anything.
It's not necessarily like a specific story, but something that has been coming up for me a lot recently is I talk about this a lot, but with surfing. Surfing has, I feel like, really
Love it.
improved my confidence both in the water and out of the water. And I think what has really has helped me improve my confidence is just sort of the idea of when a big wave is coming for you, you have two options really. If the big wave is coming for you, you can either get crushed by it or you can go for a paddle and try and stand up. And I think for a long time, as you know, you're learning to surf, I was getting crushed by the waves all of the time, and I was feeling scared of the big waves. But recently, when a big wave is coming, my mindset has shifted a little bit, and I'm like, well, just give it a go because you're either going to get crushed or you're going to stand up and you're going to get crushed. So you might get crushed anyway, but you also might catch the wave. And so I've started to sort of feel like, and I feel like that's a great metaphor for life. It's like you feel this big, scary thing coming and you're like, all right, let's just go for it. And now, more often than not, I actually get up on the waves, and I have, a good ride. And that's really fun. And
Yeah.
I think that can be applied to real life as well. And then another thing,
Hmm.
moment that I learned from surfing recently is I was once a couple weeks ago, I was out with an instructor and there was a wave that was coming and I thought it was way too big for me. I was like, oh God, here we go. And I wasn't even going to go for it. And my surf instructor was like with so much confidence and so much joy. He was like, "Go for it, Brianna. This is your wave. Go, 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 go." And I was like, "Okay, if he thinks I can do it, I guess I can do it." And so I paddled and I went for it and I stood up, and it was probably the biggest wave I've ever surfed. And to be honest, had he not encouraged me to go for it, I would have never done it. And for me, I just really realized, I'm like, you know what? Actually, the words that you say to other people does actually give them the confidence to go for things that they didn't think that they could go for. And so now I really just sort of keep that in my mind when I'm with my students or when I'm with my friends. I'm like, sometimes you just got to give people
Yeah.
that extra push, and then they can do it. So those are my sort of more
Oh,
recent
wow.
moments.
Okay, that is truly so moving.
Oh,
I
thank
think
you.
that your experience of surfing really is like such a cool, tangible, like symbolism, like this action and how it can apply to so many parts of life. And then just a really good reminder the words you say to others and also to ourselves really do matter. And I feel like I've been forgetting that recently. So, like, very inspiring.
Totally. And then I think another thing that we always need to remind ourselves is, even if we see someone out there with so much confidence, or we feel like we don't have enough confidence and we want more, I think everyone goes through moments of of unconfidence. And I think that you actually never really arrive at being fully confident. Like, I would bet, even
Oh, yeah.
Beyonce and Michelle Obama, like, I'm sure they have moments where they are not confident as well. So I think you just have to remind yourself that, like, everyone is faking it until they make it. And that is everyone, from celebrities to your colleagues, new friends, old friends. Like, truly, I do think that everyone is faking it until they make it to some extent.
Oh, I 100% agree. And like, how many times I feel like, I mean, I know just in my life where I've been like, oh, no, you feel like you're like the only person going through something. And then you kind of connect with someone and share a little bit of your doubts or insecurities or, hardships. And then they're like, oh my goodness, me too. And they're like, wait, you look like I would have literally never guessed in my life that you were feeling that way. And I'm like, wait, really? Why? And so it's like, so often that happens.
Totally. And yeah, I think you really just fake it till you make it. Everyone is sort of in the same boat. So don't feel bad if you're not feeling super confident, because there's probably other people in the room that are feeling the same way. And I also think that
Yeah.
confidence changes. Like what I perceive as confidence definitely shifted over the years. I know for me, like 10 years ago, I would be like, okay,
Mhm.
I will feel confident when I have a big job and big money, and when I am like so fit and attractive. And like, I just sort of thought that, like, I had to be the, like, prettiest, brightest, shining star in the room. And like, that's what confidence looked like for me then. And that's what I was aspiring to. And then 10 years down the line, now I'm like, you know what? No, confidence for me at least is like a more subtle, more assured, more calm, more open, more friendly. I feel like that's how my confidence has changed over the past 10 years. And so I think that whatever part of your journey you're on, it's going to look different maybe in every chapter of your life. And so, yeah, my perception of confidence has shifted over the past 10 years. And also, even though now I definitely feel way more confident than I've ever felt in my life, there are still areas where I am completely faking it. And that is, like I mentioned, sort of like when I'm starting a new job, like, I feel like I'm on robot mode sometimes because I just don't feel confident in those situations. But I do hope that by putting myself in that situation, that I continue to grow. Do you have any areas in your life where you're still faking it a little bit, but trying to keep
Faking it
going?
till I'm.
Yeah.
Um, I think that. Well, I think for me, like a lot of my identity, um, through my 20s to early 30s, even I'm still, well, yeah,
You're
to
still in
like
your early 30s.
30s. I'm still in my early 30s, so you know what I mean.